Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Lucian Sword, and today I'm going to help you become a better Brawlhalla fighter. I'm going to cover a lot of different strategies that all contribute to your overall skill as a player. Brawlhalla is easy to learn, but hard to master. In this video, we're going to cover all the basic elements of the game, including dodging, fighting with unarmed, fighting with weapons, combos, hitboxes, throwing items and weapons, edge guarding and air juggling, gravity cancels, and other general tips for success. Let's start by talking about how and when to dodge. Dodging is essential to your survival. While you're on the ground, you can dodge left, right, or in place. And if you're in the air, you can dodge in any direction. Air dodging is extremely useful as a way to get back onto the stage when you get knocked off. Dodging can also be used to reposition yourself on a stage and or chase an enemy. A ground dodge has about 1 second of downtime, and an air dodge has about 3 seconds of downtime before you can dodge again. So keep that in mind, as a smart player will try to punish someone who dodges predictably. If you have a bomb, wait until you see the enemy dodge, then throw it at them before they can dodge again. Same thing if you're edge guarding, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about fighting unarmed. Just because you don't have a weapon doesn't mean that you can't do some heavy damage or even win a match. Don't be scared to fight unarmed. Instead of always running away when you don't have a weapon, try to surprise your opponent by being aggressive when they think you're going to flee. Unarmed can be very good at comboing your opponent to get off lots of damage, while giving you time for another weapon to spawn. There's a few basic combos that you should practice. Start with a slide kick and then jump and either punch or uppercut combo. Then jump and punch them again, or down kick. Another great unarmed move is the down heavy while in the air, which is faster than some people anticipate. If your opponent is in red health, go for heavy attacks to finish them off. It feels great if you land a killing blow with your fist or feet. Now let's talk about weapons. Fighting with weapons is really the bread and butter of the game. All legends have the same weak weapon attacks, but they also have unique heavy attacks called signature moves, which are much stronger than weak attacks and good for finishing opponents off. Some weapons give you longer reach, such as with the spear, hammer, and lance, while others are better suited for up-close combat, such as the guitars, gauntlets, and sword. Weapons provide a wider set of moves to choose from versus unarmed, and it's important to learn combos with weapons and also to know which move to use at the right time in the right situation. I'm not going to go over all the combos in this video because there's so many, but learning weapon combos is a fantastic way to do serious damage, and if you want to rank up to gold or higher, you're going to need to invest time practicing weapon combos. Hitboxes are invisible boxes you can't see while you're playing, but they determine when an attack counts as a hit on your opponent. A hit is registered when the hitbox of your weapon touches the hurt box of your opponent. You can go into practice mode and turn on the hit and hurt boxes to make them visible and to see exactly how each attack works in regard to range and the shape. I suggest spending some time in practice and learning the hitboxes for your favorite legend and weapons, and if you really want to be good, you should practice with all weapons and legends to really see how they work. Throwing items seems obvious, but how about throwing your weapon? Throwing your weapon at your opponent can be devastating, and at the very least, it will force them to either dodge the weapon or take the hit, which causes a disruption, possibly giving you an opportunity to punish or recover. Thrown weapons can be picked back up only by the person who threw them, and only for a couple of seconds after it hits the ground. I love throwing my weapon down onto someone who is jumping up to attack, because I know it'll either stop their attack, or they're going to be forced to dodge it, and then it'll let me get off a good counter, like a ground pound. Don't be scared to throw your weapon. Most people in silver and gold really underutilize effective weapon throws. If you think you're crazy to throw your weapon away, refer back to the Learn How to Fight Unarmed section, but also know that weapons spawn reasonably fast, and there's usually only a few seconds before another weapon drops if there isn't already one on the map. If you want to be more deadly throwing gadgets, aside from just randomly throwing a bomb or mine in the general direction of your enemy, you will need to practice learning how movement speed in a given direction affects the trajectory of the item accordingly. Brawlhalla uses only 8 possible directions for both movement and throwing items: up, down, left, right, and the directions directly in between those. This can make throwing items or weapons feel limited in potential, but there is actually a finer science to the physics of thrown items that you can use to your advantage. For example, if you stand still and throw a bomb up, it will go straight up and fall straight down. However, if you're holding a bomb while you're running forward and you throw the bomb straight up, the forward momentum will actually cause the bomb to move slightly forward instead of just going straight up and straight down. Practice throwing items and weapons over the edge of the stage by throwing them upwards without your legend going over the edge of the stage. Also practice jumping up and moving sideways and then throwing downwards. This is the easiest way to hit people with bombs or mines when they're trying to run underneath you. If you have a weapon that has a large hitbox when thrown, like a lance, spear, or hammer, throwing them upwards or downwards can create a wall that can easily hit your opponent, or even kill, or at the very least force a dodge. Edge guarding is a way to keep pressure on your opponent by making it difficult for them to get back onto the stage. If you find yourself losing to good edge guarders, try to be less predictable in your jumps toward the stage, and try to save your dodge for the last second, because once you dodge, then they know that you can't dodge again for a few seconds and will usually attack. Try not to edge guard if your opponent has a hammer, unless you're fairly confident, because hammers can easily grab upwards and throw you down, resulting in a reverse situation. The same can be said for Brawlhalla when he has an axe with his neutral sig ability to grab and throw you backwards. Air juggling is a way to combo your opponent through the roof, or at the very least frustrate them by not letting them land on the stage. Air juggling is essentially edge guarding the whole stage. This is most easily done with spear helicopters or guns, but can also be done with any weapon, even unarmed. Gravity canceling is an advanced technique which allows you to do any attack in midair, including signature attacks. Performing a gravity cancel can be an excellent way to surprise your opponent with a powerful attack, but it comes at a price. Gravity canceling uses up your dodge, so if you decide to perform a gravity cancel off the stage while chasing an opponent, you won't be able to use your dodge to get back onto the stage for a few seconds, so a gravity cancel should be used wisely. To perform a gravity cancel, simply jump and then dodge in place in midair, followed immediately with whatever attack you want to use. Finally, you can't charge up the attack during a gravity cancel like you normally can on the ground, and you can only perform a gravity cancel move if you have a dodge to use. If your opponent is about to throw a bomb at you, don't try to be a hero and dodge or catch it if you don't have to, especially in a ranked match, unless you have a lot of practice catching bombs and you're okay with potentially taking a bomb to the face unnecessarily. If you see your opponent grab a bomb and begin to throw, try to avoid the obvious directional limitations that the bomb's trajectory will go in, and if you really want to be careful, you can try to hide around the edge of the stage, just drop over along the side of it until your opponent throws the bomb away. Another tip is to try throwing your proximity mines along the edges of the stage, making it much more difficult for your opponent to try to get up in the future. Also, if you see a mine on the ground, try hitting your opponent into it, and avoid the same for yourself because that's a common tactic. You can also throw your weapon into a mine to send it flying at high velocity, potentially hitting your opponent. If you get knocked off a stage, with all of your jumps and dodge still intact, keep in mind that you can sometimes jump all the way to the other side of the stage, from the bottom instead of going straight to the side where your opponent is generally going to be waiting to edgeguard you. And finally, here are some of my general tips for Brawlhalla. Play with all legends. Having a main legend is perfectly fine, but don't be scared to branch out. Playing other legends will make you a better player. Playing other legends will give you a better understanding of each legend's moveset and tendencies. Although each player brings his or own style to the game and to each legend, most legends have predictable tendencies in most situations and can be read and countered if you anticipate them. Learning how to fight with all legends will ultimately make you a better player and better with your main. And who knows, you may even find a new favorite. Alright guys, well that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, whether you're just starting out or you've been playing for a while. I hope that everybody found something in this video to enjoy. And I just wanted to give a shout out to BMG, or Blue Mammoth Games, the developer of Brawlhalla, for being such an awesome developer and always being a great part of the community and encouraging new players to play. And I also want to say that there's an awesome Brawlhalla community out there. I know that some of you may experience the occasional rude person online, but don't let it bother you. For every bad person in Brawlhalla, there's many good people, and I've met many friends in this game. Alright guys, well if you have any tips or tricks in Brawlhalla that I've left out and you feel that you want to let other people know, go ahead and leave them in the description. We're all here to help each other become better players. As always guys, this is Lucian Sword, take it easy.